This episode of the Devinwade Show is brought to you by No Lag Energy, for everyone trying to tap into their full potential and focus, one scoop at a time. Make sure to follow No Lag Energy on IG at No Lag Lifestyle.
They can't recognize and now she Jane doe. She can't stop without no pole, but that's just how the game go. Bitches ain't need cut like that, screaming they gon' snatch my chain though. Face get rearranged though, and now they call her Jane doe. Exit 3 from the south side, 8 on block to the shore. If that boy ain't got no cash, show his ass to the door. Fuck a op, can't get no pass, blow his ass to the floor. Put him on the stretcher, tell him roll his ass to the morgue. Unidentified, they don't know who he is, can't see his face. They be wildin' steady smiling, they think I can't see the hate. Start off super fast, now you do the dash, can't see the place. Go straight down the boulevard, up to your right, you see the 8. By that office, you might see some killers coolin' by the gate. Yeah, it's cameras, but don't think that Glock ain't glue right by the waist. Walk up on her, put it in her mouth like tell me how it tastes. Face shot, that's another unidentified case. They gon' take your face off you like it's a master sign. You wasn't with me when I was broke, so bitch don't ask for none. Brody get that job done like it's a task, son. And want nothing in return, but I still give him a bag of sun. Gang shit so elite, all we know is defeat. The odds be so discreet, they post shit then delete. We can't never hop out on them, they too fast on their feet. But since they think shit sweet, we on both ends of the street. Where you going? Face shot, they can't recognize and now she Jane doe. We can't slide without no pole, but that's just how the game go. Bitches ain't need cut like that, screaming they gon' snatch my chain though. Face get rearranged though, and now they call her Jane doe. DWS is on my necklace, shit look like a rainbow. I know some niggas just can't hold, still ready to hit a stain though. Bitches gon' talk down on me, you know that shit won't change, bro. Still get starstruck when they see me, they gon' yell my name though. My name though, my name though, my name though, my name though.
What up, though? Welcome to another episode of the Devinwade Show. I am your DJ Chelsea Lee, and I'm out of breath because that shit was fucking live. And I'm gonna send you over to the host, DevNasty.
What up, what up, what up? I am your host, DevNasty. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know. I want to be named Nia D right now because that Nia G record is so hard.
Fire.
I mean, the viciousness in it.
She consistent, man.
Yeah, fuck. Choke your
We
mom
all
out.
over here.
Yeah.
Choke your pop out.
She
Smoke them out. You feel me?
She consistent, man. You know,
Oh my God.
she got us in that all black. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
We brought the all black out
Yeah.
for that Nia G.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense, man. I just want to say, everybody go tune in to Nia G. Just make sure you go check her out. Young Camden City queen.
Crazy.
Doing her thing.
Jane
And
Doe.
Y'all just gotta understand, you know, different environments and different like shit like that. Like it just breed different shit. And before you be so quick to judge shit, just try to understand it, man. You know, 'cause we from the bottom. We from the bottom. You know, and
Yeah.
IG and all them.
Yeah.
They real people. They
Everybody, the whole Halo land,
real,
everybody
they
out
real
there. You know
young
what I'm
people
saying?
out here trying to make it and trying to, you know, find their way and do their thing. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, they fire. You know, and their
Yeah.
logo is fire because you know who designed it. Your
Super.
boy. You know
Super.
what I'm saying? Your
Super,
boy.
super.
You know, so you know how they say no lacking, but we also no lagging. Of course, you know what I'm saying? This episode brought to you by No Lag Energy. You know what I'm saying? These dudes, they got us fired up, man. I actually feel great off the no lag, but
Puerto Rich whooped his ass.
listen, man, Puerto Rich, we playing Street Fighter, and it's not fair because Puerto Rich already better than me in Street Fighter. So I should take the no lag and then Porter play regular. But he took the no lag, so we both
Yeah.
better, but he's still better than me.
Right.
I took the no lag and, you know, yeah.
Bullshit.
How many
I
rounds was
told,
it?
I already
Four?
told, yeah. It was
Four
like,
rounds.
it was 4 rounds, 2 games. But I already told Dev, like, you know, besides the no lag, just putting the extra, like, intensity on things because, you know, we got it in. I'm a Street Fighter king. I used to do that for bread and meat. Like, I had people come from out of town to play me in Street Fighter when I was a young kid.
Bread and meat.
Yeah, hold
there
on.
We go.
Yeah. Listen, that don't. You gotta watch that.
Right. We're gonna scratch the meat. You know what? Let's scratch the meat. It was just for the bread. But
Make
I got what you meant.
Yeah, make sure that
Nah.
y'all go to @NoLagLifestyle. You know, to check out more information on that No Lag Energy, especially for the gamers out there. But you could do anything. You saw they was twerking off the no lag and all of that. You know what I'm
Heavy.
saying?
Heavy.
Twerking super heavy off the no lag. Chelsea Lee over there twerking off the no lag. You know what I'm saying?
Died off the no lag.
yeah, she did. She actually got murdered off the no lag. No lag
I
might
came
think
back
you could
just for the show.
Yeah, she back to life. That's crazy that no lag brought you back to life too after getting shot
I drank
up.
it and I was like,
Yeah, and came right back to life, yo.
resurrected off the no lag.
Yeah, it came right back to life, man. But of course, all the way to the left is the man himself, the Thurman Street Pumper, Porter Rich in the building.
Shout out to the people, man.
Damn, he ain't bust no gun. You already so Nia G bust enough guns for everybody.
Listen, whenever we do a Nia G record, it's no need for me to give y'all the ad lib, the crazy ad lib. There's just on some energy shit. Like, come on, because people, you know how people we live in a world nowadays where everything, a lot of shit is about perception, and a lot of people's perception is fucked up. They take things and make it to what they want to be. You know what I'm saying? But back to it's a little energy, and I skipped it today because every day is a different day. You know what I mean? And tonight we just calm, cool, collective. Again, it's the calm before the storm. They don't see what we doing here.
He got more no lag bubbling in his system.
Yeah.
The other person always bubbling below the waist. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
I'm just
but go
saying,
ahead.
you know what I mean? The Water Kingdom herself. You know what I'm saying? Waleska D is in the building.
Hello. I'm laughing because this whole time I was laughing because on our intro, I'm dancing, I'm vibing to the shit. I forgot to put my headphones on because I was so in tune. The no lag got me just lit up. I'm just forgetting the process of the shit I gotta do. I'm just like,
right.
Or it could
all
be
the way
that
in.
you real hype with those sneakers that you have on your feet.
oh my golden goose.
Yeah. So, this woman also
Expensive
tried
shit.
to convince me to purchase these sneakers that are ridiculous. I'm like, yo, come on. I can't just go cop some Jordans for $300,
Nah.
something like that.
Yeah.
She gonna show me some $600 golden
That's what
gooses.
she do though.
And you know
That's
what
what
I mean?
she do. I gave her my credit card one time and she had to handle something for me, and I told her, I was like, nah, it ain't no budget on there, Wally. It's just you get me
I
right.
had to be mindful though because I was like,
And
you sure?
this was her being mindful, considerate. But they was dope. Don't get it fucked up. It's phenomenal shit that I'll buy again. So don't get it fucked up. But she definitely came back with a pair of like $1,000 shoes.
Yeah, see, all of that craziness.
Yeah.
And of course, the best DJ in the world, ready to set it off for us. We're gonna set it off with a moan from DJ Chelsea Lee on 3, 1, 2, and 3. That was a long stroke at the end, you know what I'm saying? That was a long stroke at the end.
Baby got that no lag.
Oh, say that again.
The moan was amazing.
Baby got that no lag.
Okay.
The moan was great as usual. Well, why am I putting my ear
Porter,
to the mic?
shut the fuck up.
I don't know why.
Like it's coming out of here. He like,
My bad, Chelsea. My bad, Chelsea. But I was trying to figure out because I just caught myself doing some dumb shit while you was moaning. I'm like this.
That's crazy.
What the fuck am I doing? Yeah.
Hold on, before this is completely off, before we even get into the show, this is some real stupid shit that we was arguing about downstairs. And I want to just bring this up and breeze by this real fast. We was arguing about this downstairs, while these people was downstairs and everything like that. And somehow we end up in this discussion of would you rather lose your meat or lose your feet? And what I mean by that is, would you rather lose all sensation in your legs forever? And you can't, oh no, it wasn't even sensation. Lose your legs, like they're not there. It's
They're
just
not
torso, just torso, but you still got your dick. Or
And you can still fuck.
yeah, you can,
Yeah.
but there's no nubs, nothing,
nothing.
nothing. It's coming off like action figures. Pop them off, right?
Yeah.
But you still got your dick, or be able to still walk, but your dick is just on limp. Yeah, I mean, and this turned into a real fucking
It did.
debate
Limp for
downstairs
life.
before you got here.
No, this is an amazing. This is an amazing question.
Yeah, I got to get y'all take on this too. You know what I'm saying? Because the male perspective was all on one side.
It was.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. This is a crazy one. But I think I'm gonna keep my legs.
Yo, thank you. So all right, so finally, so me and my brother think alike.
I'm gonna keep
I was
my legs.
outvoted downstairs.
He was definitely outvoted.
Niggas was
I'm
down
gonna-
there like,
listen.
no, I'm keeping my dick.
No.
I can still get
I tell
ride
you
game.
why?
I can still.
No, can I tell you why I'm gonna keep my legs? Because I just don't see myself without my legs. I don't see myself really like just doing all this sex anyway and getting all this pussy anyway without my legs. But with my legs, and I just see because I'm smart. I'm a little smart.
I mean, no one's
for
bad at that.
for one, my tongue work. You know, for the ladies, just shout out
That's
to y'all.
why you do the prrrr.
My tongue work, and I'm gonna just get an arsenal of motherfucking like dildos or something like that. An arsenal, like all ranges,
what did I
shapes,
say? What did I
sizes,
say?
colors, vibrators,
In his defense of what he was
tongue
saying,
rings.
the reason why he was saying he'll keep his legs, because he said you can get a strap-on joint that has vibration and you still can fuck your bitch.
To keep her satisfied.
Yeah, to keep
you feel
her
me?
satisfied.
Because my guess is if my meat is just on like gone mode,
Right.
maybe I just don't even get horny, so I'm straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The final question for us, the final ultimatum for us is really like climaxing and walking. For us, that's the final. That's the final ultimatum for us. That's why, like you said, well, if I could I'm still gonna be pounding you. You still gonna be good. I'm still gonna knock you to the ground.
So you rather remove the climax out of your life and
basically,
keep
you're
everything
saying
else?
you gotta just do it.
I would rather lose that. Yeah, I would rather lose the feeling
I mean,
of
to be honest,
climaxing.
Porta, you only 15 years off of losing your climax anyway.
So that's what. Listen.
And just like you, just like most of us, and men lose it sooner.
Who said that?
Chelsea, Dev said the same thing.
I'm
Who says
saying
these things?
men start having issues in their 50s anyway, so you straight.
I said basically if niggas is in a situation at 55, 60 where they shit start working anyway, I want to just be able to run around and do whatever the fuck I gotta do, defend myself, motherfucking whatever, like whatever. So I said that.
You already had your sexual peak.
Horny young niggas downstairs was like, nah, I need to fuck. I could get ride game, but I was like, yeah, but then there's still no actual leg there for their support. They're riding and probably falling off the ride a little bit because you gotta think of the way that the setup is.
They actually gotta like squat.
How you know,
Wally?
Wally?
To do, huh?
How you know, Wally?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
I've never experienced anything like that.
All right,
I'm
but just
Can I just say one thing?
I'm just kidding.
It would be the girl actually holding the guy, and he wouldn't be lifting her up; she'd be lifting him up.
and putting him in. Y'all, you know what?
But that'd be heavy. You're gonna be doing
That's
this.
when
You're
yoga
gonna be
comes
doing
into
this.
mind. You're like,
oh my God.
I can see it now. Listen, especially with girls like Wally.
no, he do the down dog. He be on his hands.
Could
and
you
be like this.
imagine? Could you imagine I decide to give up my legs and now I'm like, I
The
can't really
wheelbarrow.
move how I used to move, and somebody talk shit like Wally or Chelsea, they on top trying to go crazy and it ain't really working for me. They like, oh my God, you half-assed like a motherfucker.
And you legit half-ass.
You know what? First off, hold on, real quick from y'all. Real quick. So this is how, because they made it like this was like a big discussion to figure out. And I'm like, nah, man, on some health shit, I just keep my legs or whatever. So I asked Chelsea,
Yes.
if this had to happen, and this is your dude, your husband or whatever, would you rather, and the big accident happens, he loses, his legs come off or his dick come off, which one are you going to volunteer for him?
Oh no, for him.
Damn.
I think if I'm I think he would want me to keep his dick, but I'd want him to keep his legs.
All right, bet. Thank you. That's all the answer that I need. We moving on. That was just something that I had to bring in there because we was arguing off camera or
we
whatever like that.
definitely were.
That's not exactly what we talking about today. But to get into what we want to talk about today, I want to talk about the worst decision that you ever made in your life.
The worst decision I probably ever made was
Or one of. This is probably got a lot.
It's probably there is a lot, but one that I wish I never did was moving back from California. Like when I moved out there, I wish I would have just gave it a little bit more time. I got really homesick and I was just like, this ain't for me. And I didn't give it time. And the crazy thing is, I look back at the people that are still there and just rode out and just how well they're doing and I'm like, damn, like if I would have stayed, maybe I would have been in a different space in life or whatever. But I mean, you live and you learn. But that's probably one of my worst.
No, that's a real thing.
Wally, that is amazing. Because just to say it really quick, because all day I was thinking, what am I gonna say? I can't think of a worse decision.
You remembered?
But now you saying that, what I think about all the time is I have this regret not to have moved when I was like 22, 23. Because I feel like as a woman, when you're younger, you can go out, network, get different jobs, and like kind of be more social and it's acceptable. But once you get past a certain, like I can't really like, go move just to find my life out now. But at a younger age, that's something that I always think about. Like, a lot of my friends moved to Vegas and they are like top tier workers. I had a lot of my friends move to Miami and I was always like, I'm coming. And I never moved. And I do regret, not taking that move. Cause like she said, she could have been doing this and that. And that was amazing.
And you know what? Those are really good because when you come from like a small town where there's not any opportunities or huge industry, like for real, in the town that we from, for real, there wasn't even really jobs or nothing at a certain point. Like no factories, the factories left. It was like really a fucked up place. And that's why like Camden, New Jersey at one point was the poorest city in the whole fucking
lot of years.
Yeah, the whole country. That's what led to the craziness and violence and everything like that. So for the people that did say, fuck it, I'ma shoot out there, shoot out to LA or whatever the case may be. A lot of my peoples that shot out there in the beginning, they was sleeping on somebody's couch. They was like roughing it or staying in a fucking apartment with a whole bunch of people in one place, and you like, man, that's not the desired position, or the fear of going somewhere where you're nobody. If you made yourself like a little name where you are, whatever, the comfort, giving that up and coming somewhere where you're nobody and you got to start all over again is difficult. And for the people that did ride it out, a lot of them were rewarded
towards the end. And the crazy thing was, like, I was there for a decent amount of time. I think for me was, this was back in 2008 when I left right out of high school. So I didn't I'm a teenager. So I just like kind of went out there and kind of figured it out, and just like on one of the episodes I talk about, getting lost on, on the bus and not having a car. And LA back then isn't LA today. It's very different. But, you live and you learn,
you think
at the
you
end of the
weren't
day.
laserly focused? Because
I think, go ahead.
If you were there, because a lot of things I did before and I think about now, I think if I had that opportunity before, the stuff I know now, I would have maybe done things different or like taken advantage of the opportunity a little bit more. So I'm saying if you were to go to LA now, do you feel like you would have done more with what you know now? I think what discouraged me a little bit about LA was because I was so driven making sure that I finished college. Everybody know that I went to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in LA. And I was when you live in LA, it's all about who you know. So I was working with the mayor of Los Angeles. I was being, the fashion ambassador for, the mayor of Los Angeles, Villagrosa at the time. And I was working with Cynthia and we were going to different like fashion shows. So like I had a great experience. But what happened was they were kind of like trying to give me jobs without me having to go through college. It was like, nah, you could do this. And I'm like, I can do that, but I want to finish school. Like, I feel like I want to be that college graduate in my family. So that's what kind of like discouraged me a little bit because like, let me tell you something. I met so many people in LA at that time, and just doing so many different things and networking. That's why I got my network, how I got a lot of my network today based on those connections back then. But I think I wouldn't change anything I did because I did everything what I was supposed to do. The reason why I came back was just more of like, I was just getting pushed in different directions. I didn't think LA was one of the fashion capitals. I thought New York was, which it is. And that's why I came back.
But the other thing about LA, and I got some friends that got great success stories going out in LA, but there's also the part where a lot of times people that are from the smaller towns and stuff like that, and they'll move to somewhere like Atlanta or LA, sometimes watching their lives from afar isn't exactly what it seems like it is. Some of that regret that you have is regret on something that's not even real. They are still there struggling. Sometimes they're in a situation where they're riding it out of stubbornness or not wanting to give up, but they're actually suffering more where they are instead of coming back. So it does work both ways, but that was a excellent one because, a person like me, I always had people in my ear saying, Dev, you don't belong here. You don't belong here, bro. You can't draw for Marvel Comics here. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't do
You're not gonna thrive
everything
here.
that you know how to do. There's no industry here. You got to get up and go. And it was hard for me to like leave my peoples, you know, leave my family, leave my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's like, damn, why couldn't I just been a person that was born in New York where these things, you know, where these things are? But that's a fucking.
We're gonna
great
change
one.
that too.
That's a great one.
We're gonna
And that's
change
what-
that. We
and
can buy buildings right out here in New Jersey.
Right.
We can buy buildings right out here in Philadelphia
Shit.
and do what they
There's
doing
building
everywhere.
right here.
We listen right now. We doing it. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
we
no,
doing it as we speak.
doing it right now as we speak. Porter Rich, anything with you?
Pretty much one of the worst decisions in my life, I would say. It definitely like just had me like fucked up. I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get past it because, like I say, I consider myself to be somewhat intelligent, somewhat smart, a thinker. You know what I'm saying? And this night, I didn't really like think about shit the way I should have. And I'm talking about a night I came home. I came home on a Monday morning from prison. I came home from doing 20 months. I did 20 months. I think I had a 5 with an 18, 20 months. They let me, I came home on parole. Monday morning I came home. And this was Wednesday night when this occurred, the situation 2 days later. Probably, it wasn't even 72 hours. And I had some of my friends around, of course, because I just got out of prison, people coming to see me. And I had a mixture of my friends around. I had like one of my homies that's like, you know, just one of my, what I consider to just be like one of my working homies. You know what I mean? One of my like, kind of like a little bit more positive homies. You know what I'm saying? On the positive side. And that's my homie Nice, shout to Nice. It was Nice and my man and his cousin Maul. It was them. And then I had some of my other street homies, you know, who I got love for as well. You know what I'm saying? My street, again, they just different. They live a different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And we was going out. Both parties wanted to go out. My positive friends, my homie Nice and them wanted to go to the movies. My other homies, they wanted to go out to like the club. But they, again, these street niggas that I'm talking about, they got guns and shit on them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So being where I was at in life though, just coming home from prison and trying to do the right thing, trying to be a better family man and shit like that, I really was supposed to, you know, choose the movies with my cool homie because it was the safer thing to do. It was the smarter thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And I was still on that bullshit. Like almost like fuck the smart shit. Where like, even though at that point I'm not where I'm at in my life now, but I still had the same vision. I still had goals. I still had shit that I was trying to do besides just appreciate my freedom and be a better family man to my family because I've been incarcerated. Me and my brothers have been incarcerated damn near all our life. You know, a lot of our youth, juvenile adolescence where my mom always say that shit like she ain't raised us, the jails raised us. And that night I chose the bullshit and I went out with my homies with the gun and long story short, I end up being the one taking this gun charge, you know, and I don't blame nobody. I played a part in it. We make decisions. We make beds. We got to lay in them. But I chose to go where I went. I chose to be with who I wanted to be with. And that night, in less than 72 hours, I went back to jail for a gun. I just came home Monday. I went back to jail for a gun. It was so crazy. Like, it was one of them situations because I know jail. Me and jail got a relationship, a history. Where I used to wake up in jail and be like, pop up in jail. Even in the handcuffs alone, before I even get to jail, I'm like, dang, here we go again.
So how long did you have to do after you did the 20 months? You come home, you home for 2.5 days or so.
Yeah.
And then you had to go back for how long?
I had to immediately take another bid because we was trying to see if somebody could have took the charge, somebody with a less of a jacket. It probably would have been a lighter offense on them. But the lawyer said it wasn't going to work anyway, you know, because we had got the lawyer and shit, you know, shout out to my mom, you know, and my people, my parents, my father, rest in peace, because they was there for me and did what needed to be done. And we got the lawyer and shit. And the lawyer just told me to hurry up because I had a jacket. I got guns on my jacket already. You know what I mean? From just street shit, you know, me being in the streets and doing what I need to do to survive, you know, because that's how I feel.
So what did they give you?
I ended up taking a new 5 with a 3, which is basically 5 years with the minimum 3 on top of the 20 I just did. So I had to at least do, I ended up doing 38 months and maxing out. I stayed out of trouble for 38 months. I went back. I immediately went back. I never came home again. I just told, because they was going, like, I could have posted bail instead of getting a lawyer, to be honest. But the chances of me posting bail, and then around that time, the feds was picking up a lot of gun cases in our area where, like, you could get caught with, like, a little regular revolver, where in the state, you might get probation or a regular little punk-ass year. But if the feds pick it up and you got a jacket according to their guidelines, you might could get rocked and get motherfucking 5 years to 10.
Right.
And that's where I fit in the guidelines with the feds. I would at least got 10. So I knew the game already. Even the lawyer, when I talked to him, he was like, nah, you right. We definitely got to, like, don't want them to touch any of this shit. So the lawyer was just like, yeah, you know, once he told me we couldn't get around it, I was just like, yeah, well, I got to go back. I was like, it's cool. I got to go back. I got to eat it. It was the most ugliest thing in my life. One of the worst time periods of my life.
Yeah, to get that little time of freedom and everybody coming around and then you back, it's a nightmare.
For someone else, though?
No, it was a nightmare, bro, because my dad, even my dad, bro, rest in peace to my dad. Like, I deal with a lot of this pain now. Some days were kind of like I feel like I didn't help keeping my people, you know, my dad alive. Just because bringing stress into their life and shit like that. I remember calling home from the jail, and my dad knew I just came home. And my dad, bro, was about to, like, damn near crying on the phone, bro. Like, screaming. He said, what the fuck did you do? He said, you gonna kill your mother? It broke me, bro. It was breaking me, bro. But I went back. I sucked it up. I went back. I did my time. You know what I'm saying? You do the crime, you do the time. I believe in that wholeheartedly. Regardless of how it play out. Ooh, it wasn't my gun. But it was mine it was mine. The way the shit happened, it was mine. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, and this is not to knock the streets or my street homies, because I still got people that's like living that life, and a lot of people live that life and they in it for whatever reason they in it for, you know, but we gotta be real about whatever. You know, we're not gonna hold no punches. It's a nasty place. It's a nasty place in a nasty game where if you don't have to be there, I would tell you get the fuck out. Go get a job. And then they lied to us about like a legal life, telling us that a working man was a sucker when you could build credit and do all this amazing shit and be amazing as a working man. So I got to speak up on that.
Where street credit ain't worth nothing, because street credit can't get you nothing. A nigga that is 14 years old will blow your top off.
Street credit, that's what it gets you. I fear that. That sometimes, listen, I fear that, and I'm so glad you mentioned it, because I hate when, sometimes I'm glad that we talking about it right now because I get to say it. Stop. I never said that I was a gangster. I never said that I was this notorious gangster from Camden, right? And we've heard it come out. We've heard Star joke. Shout out to Star, because I appreciate the love wholeheartedly. But I never said no shit like that, right? So I just feel like, let's not paint that picture. I don't want to paint that picture for me. That's not who I want to be. That's not who I'm saying I am, right? I lived a certain life. I've been through some shit, whatever. I'm grateful for God that I made it out. But like Dev said, that street credibility, it puts a target on you.
Yeah, niggas want to score points,
right.
man.
Now niggas feel like they need to do something to you, and that makes them notorious. Listen, you ain't got, listen, my nigga. Know what I'm saying? Like, the street shit is something I did in the past. It is what it is. Again, I don't knock it. I pray for my dogs that's in it, and I love my dogs, and they know it. I'm just speaking, looking back in hindsight, and I feel everything happens for a reason in life.
Yeah, sometimes the bad decisions we make, like once you're past it or whatever like that, you can accept where it is and where it placed you in life. As far as Chelsea, was there anything else besides that, but the moving thing like Wally? Was there anything with you or no?
No, I feel like I've made a few bad decisions, and I don't want to be like, oh, I wish I didn't do everything, because I'm kind of glad that I made the decisions I made. Because
where it put you.
Now, exactly where it put me. So I think when she said that, it just sparked that I always do have this like thing in the back of my head, like, man, I am a sun baby. I am a person that likes to be by the beach. And people come up to me all the time. They be like, don't you live in Vegas? Why don't you live here? And I think to substitute that not moving away that I've always regretted, I travel like 2-3 times a month, because I love Jersey. I love being here. But there's also a thing about like being somewhere warm, you know, that just makes you a happier person.
Yeah.
So that might be it for me.
I get that. You know, like for me, I got two things, you know what I'm saying? And one was when I was like 21 years old, I turned down a deal that would have changed my life for my peoples, for my friends. So it was one of those situations that happened where, you know, you raised on like the loyalty. And a situation presented itself to me where I was able to take this deal, but they was like, we don't want your homies. You know what I'm saying? We want you. We want the nigga. We want the main nigga we read about in Unsigned Hype and Source. We want you. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I would look terrible taking that deal and leaving my peoples behind. So I'm standing on, nah, if you want me, you gotta take my niggas with me. And they like, nah, this is a great opportunity. You young, you could get in here, do this, do that. You could put your peoples on afterwards. And I turned that situation down. And the craziest part was me and especially the one guy that was in my group, we wasn't even tight like that a year and a half later. You know what I'm saying? Like we had already like outgrown each other where we were still cool, but we wasn't even in the same group. You know what I'm saying? And them situations in your wave passes, your buzz, you know, passes in situations. So that was one. And the other thing is more like what Chelsea was talking about, because you know, things that you think were bad decisions still put you in a good place. So like when I think about every decision I ever made with like women and things like that, if I didn't make those decisions, I wouldn't have my girl now and be in the situation I'm in now. So I wouldn't change nothing to be in the situation I'm in now. The thing that I could still call it a bad decision was the women in the past. It's like two of them that I did like wrong to, because in that relationship world, they're like the only two people that can actually say like Devinwade did something foul to me. And that bothers me in my head. It's not that the relationship isn't still there. It's the fact that in somebody's storyline, I am the villain. You know, it's different if a person's just making up shit about you in a storyline. That's not real. I'm talking about when we die and we stand before God, I really did something wrong with these two people. But they're the only people. You feel what I'm saying? So those are to be the things where I think about it as a bad decision, but it's still your course of your life still led you to be. Because you know how they say the butterfly effect, if you change one thing, everything else motherfucking changes and suffers. You know what I'm saying? Right. Did y'all have anything before we move on? You know what I'm saying?
So I moved out at a very young age. I moved out before I graduated high school, and I feel like it was a good thing and a bad thing, just because it led me to be so independent and so like, you know, it brought out the hustler in me, it brought out the survival mode in me. But at the same time, if I would have stayed home, I would have had a roof over my head. I would have been able to go to school. I would have been able to, like you guys said, be somewhere else that's probably better than where I am now. But, you know, I'm thankful for that because here I am with you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, you're at the Devinwade Show. So enough of the bad, the gloom, and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? What was the best decision that you ever made?
I would say for me, and this is like so random, but like, you ever had a crush on somebody?
Yes.
What the fuck? What kind of question is that?
And but this is like a person that you would never think you'll run into. Like, this is just someone that you would never think you would ever see. This is a whole different type of human, right? And I'm like, oh, he's cute, he's handsome. You know, I just always had a secret crush on him. He didn't know me, you know, he just didn't know me, period.
Got you.
So an opportunity presented itself, and you know, we had this conversation before about women approaching men. Okay. And I had an opportunity where he was in the same vicinity as me. And I was just like, I'm going to shoot my shot.
Oh, the
so
shooter.
I had somebody throw me a little oop-de-loop.
Kobe.
You get what I'm saying?
The water gun.
Kobe.
And I went up to him and we was like chatting for a second, and then we exchanged numbers, and then
Damn.
Wait,
The
do you
water
think
park
you manifested that in your head? Because something like that happened to me with a celebrity too. I was like on YouTube and I was like, oh, he's so hot. And the next day I saw him, I was like, what the fuck?
I
is
mean,
this?
That's real.
I was manifest maybe for a couple years, because I mean,
Oh, it wasn't
you gotta
like
think
a
about
real
it
quick
like
thing?
this man before, like he was engaged at one point, about to get married,
Yo.
and then like. Then he's not married anymore. He's single, and then I was just like, "Ooh,
Yo,
he's single now, huh?"
Would it be safe to say that the water park was trying to give out a free admission pass?
Yeah, to that one, yes.
That's my boo.
To that one, yes,
That's my
specifically,
baby.
yeah. So I mean, the great
What's that
thing
joint called where you get to like skip the line and shit like that? What's
Fast
that
pass.
shit? Huh?
Fast pass.
Yeah,
Fast pass.
Nigga was about to get the speed pass, get to keep coming back, come
Fuck
when he
that.
want.
He didn't even need a pass. It was like, hey, you jump in the line,
Season
bro.
pass,
You
all that.
just-
You know what I mean?
No,
Right.
but it was awesome. I was happy that I even did it because, like, so you get afraid, And my one home girl, shout out to Joanna. I love her. That's my girl. She was just like, girl, you got to do this. This is your opportunity. And I was just like, you right. And it was just like in one of those situations where it's like, it's kind of good. You could do it because it was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
So it was like the opportunity presented itself. And then, me and him were still cool today. And I just, I'm
Nice.
happy that I did that. That's
You
part of-
definitely manifested that. That's a real thing with Chelsea. No matter how long it took, if it took 2 years or it took one day, you manifested that happening. I know all about that type of shit, and that's a real fucking thing, yo. That's
Right.
real.
Right.
What about you, Rich? The best decision?
Best decision. For me, I'm gonna say, and I always say that. I always say like music saved my life. So for me, I would give it to the best decision in my life would be that I got back to giving my passion one last shot. I've had runs in music in different ways. Music was always a passion of mine, rapping and all that shit. I done other shit in elementary school and all that shit, and when I was just in my younger days. But music stayed with me throughout, even all the street shit, incarceration. We used to cypher, all that. But eventually I did some professional shit with one of my homies. Shout out to my homie Taffy, the whole Teflon. We did some shit. Shout out to Shaquille, B.O., and all my comrades.
Shout out to all of them.
Yeah, all my comrades out the city. We had like one of the first independent record labels and state-of-the-art studios like in Camden way back. And after that run, things kind of like fell apart. People went their separate way. I went back in the streets heavy, and just something eventually was like still with me with the music. You know what I mean? People definitely was still around me, interested in music and trying to see what was up with it. And it was picking up in the area, you know what I mean? And I ended up going to jail again. And I think it was really like that last bid. That was like one of the last bids. After that, I went back one last time for 10 months and that was it. But that one was the one that I gave was really like the straw that broke the camel's back. And yeah, man, I went back to music, yo. And music opened so many doors. I stayed dedicated to music and just music, because I told you that I ended up going back for a year after I got in music. Yeah. And then after coming home from that, it was like, that was the icing on the cake. I was like, nah, I can't be investing.
I remember that, though.
Yeah, I was like, I can't be investing in myself. I can't be investing in this shit and still just dibbling and dabbling all this other shit.
Yeah, because then the momentum and everything starts to slow down. You got to build it all the way back up.
The energy, the focus.
Everything moves so fast. There's new rappers when you come home. You know what I'm saying?
All of that.
All that type of shit. The new rapper be like, who's bull?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you sitting there like, who this
Yeah.
nigga? You know what I'm saying? The new nigga.
And the most important part, the message in it is that it saved my life, man. Regardless of whatever happened with music and whatever, I've been doing this shit so long now for a decade, right? And I had to keep my nose clean for this. I had to stay away from shit for this. And that was to the point where like I have no intentions on going back to a lot of the shit that I used to do.
So one, it
You know what I'm
keeps you
saying?
out a lot of shit. It gave him the focus and everything like that. And it put him in the environment where other business ventures and things like that happen because you're doing one thing. It might not be about landing the big record and doing all of that type of shit. It puts you in a world where now you rubbing elbows with different people. And then now you making money and busting moves doing different things. Chelsea Lee, what is the best decision that you made?
It's kind of in line with Porter. I think one of my best decisions that started after high school was just like pursuing my dreams and my goals and, not really following the lead of other people. Like I was a trained dancer. And then after high school, I really wanted to be an Eagles cheerleader. So that was one of my first like things to go after and do was to be a dancer. I didn't make the team. I tried out 3 years in a row and I made it to the top like 30 or 50 every year, and I never made it to the end. And then that pushed me to start my business and being an entertainer. So I think for me, pursuing my dreams, traveling, and then the next decision being having a business, and then the next decision being like, you know, doing music and DJing, and then, you know, that brought me here. So for me, I know I was fortunate enough to be able to hustle and have different jobs and like bartend and kind of fund my own dreams and traveling and being all over the world and whatever it was. And that like brings me joy. So pursuing my dreams and just like having goals and being that free spirited person instead of feeling like I have to have a 9 to 5 and I have to do what everybody else wants to do. Like, I'm glad I'm not that type of person no matter what people have told me, because I've had friends like, why do you keep doing bikini photos? It's so old. Like, and I'm no longer that person's friend, but you will meet people around your like going through life that might tell you what you're doing, you know, you should be doing this or you could be doing that. And like, you have to stay focused. You have to like, what is going to make you happy? Like, what are your dreams? Not what do your friends think you should do? Not what does your mom think you should do? Not what your, you know, whatever think you should do. You have to be like, focus on what you want to do. And sometimes
some of that's because they don't understand though.
They don't understand.
They don't even understand because they are only used to like, having maybe a stream of income that comes one way. I get paid X amount of dollars every Thursday. And in their mind, that gives them stability, comfort. And when they think about how you make your money sporadically or however you make it, to them, they can't understand living without that structure, So in their mind, they think that you're doing something wrong. I've had certain people look at that where I'm looking at them like, you don't make what I make. And you know what I'm saying? And I have a certain freedom. Trust me, this isn't happening by accident. I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't want to do what you do. And there's no knock to that, but I feel exactly.
I want to be a business owner. I want to be able to work for myself. I want to be able to get my friends, my family paid. I want to be able to, you know, have flexibility and be artistic and dress the way I want to dress, maybe have a tattoo or a nose piercing and be myself and not feel like, you know, you can't do certain things because you're working in a certain box. But if that's what you like to do, that's on you. I just can't be that closed off of a person.
Right. And for me, it's crazy because mine is kind of a reflection of that. That's where I'm at with it. My best decision in life, period, was betting on myself. Betting on myself was the best decision I ever made in my life. And the craziest part was I really bet on myself 13 years ago when I had a regular job and everything like that, making nothing, busting my ass and everything like that. And I finally bet on myself because other people around me actually did believe in me. You know what I'm saying? Even my pop, you know what I'm saying? People was like, look, man, with your talent, with your skills, the phone just going to ring. Just do it. And I'm like, but how I'm not going to know where my check going to come from and this, that, and the third. And I remember my pop telling me like, nah, the phone going ring, son. Just do your thing. Yeah, they like, just do your thing. And when I think about everything from me betting on myself, you know, back then and saying, fuck it, I'm going to start my, back then it was photography business, you know what I'm saying? And then that grew into photography and graphics. And then I didn't touch the hand art drawing portion for like 9 years. So then I brought that in and it added a whole new level. And it was like, people was like, yo, I could go to this dude and get anything. But betting on myself was the best, even in my last podcast situation. You know what I'm saying? Knowing a value and saying, nah, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just bet on myself. I'd rather go and do that because that also put me in the position to be here doing my shit. You know, fast forward, it's not even a year. It's not even a year later. And I'm sitting here doing the show with my real friends. You feel what I'm saying?
You took the Ice Cube route.
You know, dog, my real friends having real
Said,
fun.
nah, I'd rather go do this and just my own thing.
And we appreciate that, honestly. Like you betting on yourself just gave us opportunity.
Yeah, betting on myself was the best thing, because even in the other years of my life, in like, you know, whatever it was, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, sometimes when you do music and shit like that, you gotta bet on other people because you got artists. So you'll have, I got this female artist, she bad, she got this going on, she can sing. They might get pregnant on you, disappear. Somebody else, they just don't
lazy.
They don't want that dream no more. They disappear. I've had artists that got cold feet, and when it was time to sign that deal with like a major, they realized they didn't want it no more. They was scared, shook to jump in that water, and you left hanging. You know what I'm saying? And I watched a lot of my friends do that. That's why I could say betting on myself was definitely the best route I ever took.
Nice.
That's what artists do. That's what
fact.
people who are artistic do. Like any artist, if you go back and watch anybody's stories, Netflix, they have the specials on like the artists, and they all have stories of coming up in a basement, you know, no money, just getting together, and then they become like super major beat makers or rappers. You know, it's got to come from somewhere, and unless you bet on yourself, you're never gonna get nowhere.
I just want to shout to your pop, man, because I think for your pop to know it and, you know, to see it, and for him to tell you, because I was looking at you when you said that your pop told you, like, yo, just do your thing and the phone gonna ring. Don't worry about nothing else. Do your thing and the phone is gonna ring, because dope sell itself, right? We talk about this. We talk about this all the time. But when I watched you say that, bro, I'm looking at you behind you with Wolverine behind you. I'm seeing like motherfucking
yeah.
Optimus Prime behind you. I'm seeing like Darth Vader behind you, right?
You know, make sure that y'all go to the DevinwadeShow.com, where you can also get this art here, Colossus and Deadpool. You know, that's available as well. You know what I'm saying?
But Pop saw that.
Yeah.
Is what I want to say. Like, Pop saw that. Pop seeing you getting to this level, bro, with, you know, where you actually in a building of your own.
Yeah.
You know, doing what you want. And your dad seen that, you know, so for your dad to be the visionary, you know what I mean? And just know what he was working with and know what you had installed in you, you know what I mean, embedded in you, I think was phenomenal.
Yeah, because he basically had to do the same thing too, because I didn't have my pop like in my life growing up. You know what I'm saying? He was really a stranger, to be 100% honest. And he watched the show, you know what I'm saying? So, and he really proud of me and everything with the show. But my pop, he had to move away from Camden, you know, in the late 90s to get his life on track, to get him out of the streets and doing dumb shit. And he kind of bet on himself down there. And he super successful down there.
And where he at now again?
South Carolina.
Oh, that's right.
And he, you know.
We got a funny story about you going to see.
Yeah, you know. But yeah, he down there doing this thing, man. And that's the thing he told me, is the phone is gonna motherfucking ring. So for anybody out there, put it like this, man. If you work in a job you feel like it's dead end, whatever the case may be, you only making X amount of dollars an hour, whatever, just know, even those jobs, this is just me talking. And you got to make these decisions for yourself, because I don't know what you got. If you got a child that depends on that food or whatever, but bet on yourself. You can always go and get one of those jobs. For the people that's in your ear telling you, nah, that ain't gonna work, this, that, or third, guess what? They gonna be doing what they doing, and you could join them and do what they do 5 years from now, and you still it's gonna be the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I had to tell people, is like, guess what? If this didn't work, if it don't work, I'll just get a job like you, bro, and you know what I mean? And we'll be right there. You feel
people will put that negative energy on you because they don't understand what you're capable of. They don't understand your spirit. They don't understand how bad you want it.
And it's their fears too, Chelsea.
And it's their fears that they're projecting on you. So when I said I wanted to DJ years and years ago to DJ friends of mine, oh, it's so hard. You know, people ain't gonna take you seriously. It was like no really like encouragement. And then when I was like, you know, I still want to do it, then it was like, okay, it's encouragement. Yeah, you could do it. And it's anything in life can be hard, but if you really want it, you can get it done.
And manifestation.
And if somebody is, you know, ignorant enough to say, well, I don't think it's going to work for you, or because their fears are projected onto you, you can't listen to that. Do you think Will Smith, you think Kim Kardashian after her sex tape, you know how many people probably was like, your career is done? Now look at her, like one of the biggest moguls ever. We've all, you know, looked at other people and judged them, but we got to stop doing that and let people follow what they want to follow, make their own mistakes. And
I mean,
their life is their life.
Probably.
It was, I mean, it was just, I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm just saying
The
everything
tape
happens
was
for
part of the plan. And I bet you that would be one of her regrets.
everything
It would be
happens
one of
for
her
a reason,
bad
man.
moments, but it would also be one of her greatest moments.
But it's the same thing with the other person in that tape, you know, shout out to Ray J, you know what I'm saying? Because Ray J's still that guy, man, you know what I'm saying? Ray J's a part of so much history, even with him boosting the Breakfast Club and shit like that, platforms that really made this potting type thing, radio thing for urban market really big. You know what I'm saying? He had things in that, and this is a dude that probably people who said all types of shit. You can't sing that good, or your sister is Brandy, who's phenomenal, and all of that. Homie still made them hit records, TV shows.
He got a new TV show where he bringing all the celebrities together to like talk.
That
so
dude,
he always gonna
He
get
stayed
money.
doing shit though.
And the funniest part is I remember in one of his old albums, him saying in the intro, I remember when my name was Brandy's brother.
Yeah.
And then I remember watching one of those like Love and Hip Hops, and Brandy popped up, and there's no shout, no dirt to Brandy. Brandy's a fucking legend.
It's my baby.
But they actually put there, when they put Brandy's name, they put Ray J's sister.
Like we didn't
Like
know.
nigga, you know the fuck this is. That's
Moesha.
right, with amazing music and albums, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's just to say that in whatever position you in right now, don't define you. Go out there, take some risks. I ain't telling you to be stupid, but I'm telling you, man, you really believe in something, especially if you young, bet on yourself, man.
YOLO.
Bet on your motherfucking self. We got the wheel out right now, and we about to spin this thing and see what it land on. You know, lately we've been landing on some other stuff too. Let's see what we land on. You know what I'm saying?
So no trick shots today?
Nah, let's see what we land on, man.
Right to it.
All we know is defeat. The odds be so discreet. They post shit then delete. We can never hop out on them. They too fast on their feet. But since they think shit sweet, ain't on both ends of the street. Where you going? Face shot. They can't recognize and now she Jane dope. We can't slide without no pole, but that's just how the game go. Bitches ain't need cut like that, screaming they go snatch my chain though. Face get rearranged though, and now they call her Jane doe. VVS is on my necklace, shit look like a rainbow. I know some niggas just can't hold, still ready to hit a stain though. Bitches gon' talk down on me, you know that shit won't change, bro. Still get starstruck when they see me, they gon' yell my name, though. We ain't call him bang for nothing, I called him my bang, bro. Cause if he ever caught a op bang, he let that thing go. They mention me, but that good shit don't get entertained.
This has been another episode of the Devinwade Show. For myself, for Chelsea Lee, for Porter Rich, you know what I'm saying? For Waleska D, and for everybody that help us behind the scenes, man, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate y'all, for everybody watching. Yo, follow your dreams, man, and bet on your motherfucking self. Don't let nobody tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing out there, y'all. Peace.